She embarrassed me in front of the whole state. She messed up things between me and my brother. Now it's gonna be payback time. Where can I find her? There's a post-election.
What up, what up, what up? What's going on? It's Daddy Day weekend.
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Seeing who doing what.
Okay.
How the daddies celebrate. Complain we don't get treated the way the mothers get treated. What the daddies doing. Or who doing what for them.
Robbie, this is the biggest thing I've ever asked you. Are you sure it's cool?
I knew I should have grabbed another lighter.
No, it's not cool.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I want to see
The pain.
Oh, and one more thing. Do not use the tape deck because it's been shorting out on. Don't forget. 4 presidents of tech. Welcome to Mountain Head. Patience or teeter. Are you with us or not?
So I'm up in this
This is a terrifying experience.
this small town
Are you okay?
today in Connecticut. This was yesterday actually.
Yes, Queen.
So I definitely sat there for maybe between 20 and 30 minutes before I even got asked, sitting at the bar before I even asked if I wanted a drink. So I was standing first. Then I wound up sitting in the empty seat that I was standing behind. But yeah, so when I finally got a drink, I was like, fuck it. I just ordered a beer. Excuse the language. Ordered a beer that was $6, she said. She gave me like some change back too, so it was like $5.50 or something like that. No tip. No goddamn tip. Fuck that. Almost had it.
Introducing Samurai Origins. My collaboration with Espresso is a connection to my roots.
Now fast forward today. Good experience. Spot called Mystic Pizza. Good personalities, good atmosphere, you know, good vibes. Not enough TVs. That's my personal preference, but not enough TVs, but good vibes. Food was good. I wish I was a fat ass like I used to be. I couldn't eat as much as I wanted to eat, but what I did eat was pretty good. So vibes was good and whatnot. So, but usually when I get good service, if the bill is under $50 or less, I'll round the bill up and then put $10 on it. So I think the bill was like $46 or something like that. So I rounded up to 50, put 10. So I left $60 for the bill, you know? But I mean, listen, this is my perspective. You pay to get good service because in my case, you know, these are things you could do for yourself. You could feed yourself. You could cook for yourself, you know. Hey, Karina, you could feed for yourself. You could cook for yourself, provide for yourself. You can make a drink in the house, you know. So when you go out, you spending your hard-earned money. So you expect good service. So when I come across spots like this, I always tell people, ain't nothing like word of mouth. Regardless, that's the best advertising, word of mouth. You let people know how businesses treat you. And then it's never about color. It's never about color. It's about getting good service. You the money that you spending is well worth it. You know, you want to splurge on yourself, you want to treat yourself. Hey, you want to be in a good spot, you know? So I was just watching the WNBA game. It was the LA versus Minnesota. From the last games like that I went to this was a few years ago. I went to a home opener in Chicago Sky. And the mayor was there, but the whole back half of the arena empty. The side that I was sitting on with the mayor was like 6 seats behind me, and female at the time, I can't remember her name, but she was the mayor at the time, but she's sitting right there behind me. So, and this is when they was rooting like, yo, we need more money. We want money that the NBA players making. And I'm looking at the arena like, yo, this is opening day for a home game in Chicago. The mayor's here and you got the whole other side empty and you want the same money. You got to sell the same tickets. That's what it's all about. It's a business. You got to sell tickets to make that. So now I was looking at the game today, fast forward, and I'm like, okay, as they painted like through the audience and whatnot, it wasn't that many empty seats. So I was like, okay. And this is in Minnesota. So the Wolves out of it. So, excuse me, everybody at the Lynx, I believe it is. Yeah, the Lynx game. But it was a good vibe. You see us more revenue coming in now. Is asses in seats, and that's what matters in the business, you know. So it looked like they might be coming up on a raise sometime soon or in the near future. They got to keep it up though. FIFA star Caitlin Clark. Something just popped up on my feed. I know she been injured. She been out, but yeah, the WNBA is definitely growing, and I like how when the NBA players' seasons is over, how they go sit in. They go sit in at the WNBA games, and they tapped in, you know. That's huge. They need the support of the NBA being a parent company. Yo, I've been watching some of this stuff with the Diddy trial. Whew. A lot of names coming out. It's about to get even crazier. So much going on right now. It's a crazy world. You got to be very cautious. You don't know who on what, who about what. Mm-hmm. I had about a dozen people in here for a minute. I'm about to pick a topic and stretch it out, you know. Could definitely do that. So I haven't been on in a while, but I'll get back into the groove. Get the viewers back up. New content. Get some other people involved, some other faces, some familiar faces y'all will know, you know, so that'll help That'll definitely help. Shout out Dame Grease, vacant lot, Lenox Avenue, Harlem, all day, every day. Shout out to the world, man. Shout out to the world. We're going through a lot right now, but some of the struggles of growth and evolution. So it is what it is. What's up? What's up? What's up? Holla at me. It's Daddy Day weekend. Who got what? Who getting what? Who doing what? I knew I should have hooked the fire stick up. It's another. It looked like it's another game on Liberty and the Fever. Ooh, can't play like that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a rainy Saturday, at least in the Northeast. The Northeast is crazy. Check out Mystic Pizza though. Food is good money, good money. I know, let's get some. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. I was talking about the big three. What up? What up? Playing 21, then 22. Yeah, what new music just came out? That's what I'm trying to see. I think clips don't come out till next month. Boss Man D-Lo album just dropped. I think it was the deluxe just dropped. I think the original album was already out, but the deluxe just came out. If it wasn't this week, it was last week. You got a lot of features. You got some. I don't like that one with Ice Spice though. I don't care for that joint. I think far as with the music for Ice Spice, she gonna be doing acting, voiceovers and whatnot, but I don't know. I think the music is over for her. Her buzz is gone, and like there's no real substance to begin with. No sustainability. So no, they come and they go. I knew Glorilla was gonna stick, but I don't know about with her changing the image now, and She's a good looking girl without all that. Good looking girl, I swear. But you like it, I love it. It's whatever make you happy. You gotta do whatever make you happy in life. You only got one life to live. Nobody else can live it for you, so be happy with your choices. Live with the decisions and the repercussions. That's what we all have to do. So it is what it is. I can't find nothing. I need some water. Hang on, I need some water. Boss man, D-Lo. I think he got that joint with French Montana, Mo Chicken. I like that joint. I got that one saved on my playlist. Yeah, I fucks with Boss Man D-Lo. Pause. Pause. Make me a little drink if y'all don't mind. One second. Mix it up. Agua. Yes. Tapped in. No Diddy. Put this in for a second. Y'all gotta remind me. That shit'll freeze up in there. Right there. Personal issues. No timetable for when she will come back. Get my chips. Fucks with these shits. It's hard to quit these. Fucks with these. Shit's a little too salty though. College football. You still playing that Sharknado shit? I guess it's really popular. It's really popping. Not Sharknado. Oh, SVU. Always put this on, but ain't nothing else. Okay, okay. You in Lyndhurst. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. I reached out to Fredro the other day, hit him in a DM. No Diddy. But on I saw he said one of his actors say he filming the movie The Tunnel. When his actors had walked off set, well, dropped out of the movie to go do something with Tyler Perry. So I was like, shit, do I fit the profile or whatever the role is? So, I gave him a brief description. I ain't put the age though. I thought about it afterwards. I didn't want to jump back in the DM, so. But it was just a long shot, It's a lot of things that I would love to do if the opportunity presented itself. If it was meant to be, it's meant to be. If it wasn't, it wasn't. I don't know if I did enough. Should I have done more? Did I do enough? Should I have done less? I don't know. But, see what happens, if anything. I be dabbling in so much stuff and be involved in so many facets of life, business, economics, people, evaluate, study people, how they react to things, how messages are received by the masses. So the majority, more so than the minority. So you learn how to deliver messages better because you know how people will take things. And in most cases, saying nothing works, but then people form their own opinions. So, but that's on them. It kind of takes the onus off of you, So you can say nothing and people will come back and say, they'll be reporting like the conversation to somebody else and be like, yeah, so I told him such and such and such. And what he said, man, he made a face like, but that turns into, that's what he said. He said nothing. But you're drawing for your own opinion. That's what people do. You guys always assume and insinuate, but put a label on it. I don't know what he was thinking, but my guess, that's how I try to word shit. I don't know what she was thinking, he was thinking, but my guess, if I was in their head, pause, just want answers. You're trying to get answers, so you got to figure out how to rationale. I guess it comes through life experiences too. So But you know, it's blessings, peace, and blessings to everybody. Hope everybody's safe, you know. Enjoying their weekend. Hope they got good weather wherever they at. You know. I was doing some thinking. It was somebody like, I'm gonna be real brief and abstract about it. But like somebody I was dealing with like years ago. This is, I think it was even before I had kids. So, you know, we bumped into each other a couple of years ago, reunited, you could say. But like when you're in different places, this is me for me. You don't want to interrupt or disrupt whatever they have going on because you don't know what the outcome of you two could be. But if that person already has their goal, like you pop up and say, "Oh, so what you up to?" "Oh, well, I'm doing this, and that, and I'm working on doing this, and I'm putting this together." I'm like, okay. What you doing? Okay, I'm doing this, and that, this and that. But some people they're in different phases of doing this, and that. Where if you're already in the grind, you don't want to bring somebody in, and then you got some people like they want to bring somebody in to help with the grind. So I guess it's a a, a position of where you're at and what place you're in and how it'll mesh. You know, I guess if it's similar, then it'll mesh. But if it's vice versa, the two opposites, then I couldn't see it working. It's possible, but I just couldn't see it working. It's less than likely. Let's say that. Damn, this shit hit me a little bit. I don't really drink this too often. Jim Beam vanilla. Yeah. Got some other stuff, but it's light, you know. But where I was going with that is like love. I was going to talk about love, like when you know, like, yo, I really love this person, but is it the love of a life love? Like, you're the love of my life, like we supposed to be together type shit? Or it's just like we got so much history and we're so empathetic for each other's feelings and thoughts that it's like, damn, I really love this person. But doesn't mean that that's the person because y'all both single that y'all should be a couple. And that's the I don't know factor for me. So, and then combined, like I said, with the whatever the person has going on, you don't want to disrupt that whatever they have going on. So I don't know. I think, like I said, I feel like if things are meant to be, they'll come to fruition. Um, of course, you have to help maneuver it. You gotta push things in the right direction for it to play out the way you want it to play out. But I don't know. I guess it's about how bad you want it, how much you're willing to sacrifice, how much work you're going to put into this person if you feel like this is your person, you know? So, and then with men, like we always go through the trial and error. So we go through rejection more so than a woman does. So when we go through it and it don't work, it's like, damn, it I won't say it blackens your heart, but like it puts bricks up. This is the best way to describe it. It puts bricks up. It's like, and it's start to build a wall. So like the more you give the best of yourself to somebody and it's not reciprocated and it don't result in what you was expecting it to be, end all be all marriage, whatever, life partner, however you want to label it, then it's like however it went wrong, it usually is some some shady shit or some dishonesty or something like that. It ain't usually like mutually, yeah, we don't like each other anymore, so we're gonna go our separate ways. It usually don't play out like that. So it'd be like something happened, something took place, is like y'all parted ways, and then you look at it as, rather than you lost trust in that person, you start to lose trust in people. You get me? You start to lose trust in people. So the next person you meet is another brick up. Next person is another brick up each time. So eventually you're gonna find yourself boxed in. You're gonna be boxed in by yourself. So, but you gotta think about it from this way, like from this perspective, like it's billions of people on earth. So the more you travel and the more you stretch your radius, like it's up in the percentages of you meeting your person. So if you just keeping it within the block, the neighborhood, and 5 boroughs or whatever the case may be, you may never find your person. You know, you might be waiting for your person to come visit New York City. Your person might be in Texas, but they happen to be at LaGuardia Airport. What's the chance of y'all bumping into each other, you know? So you got to travel around, you got to expand yourself, and it's a market. It might sound crazy, but they used to say shit back in the days. Yeah, I'm still on the market. You want to get off the market, you got to advertise. You can't sell product without advertising, you know. People got to know what you're offering, what you're selling, what you bring to the table. I hate that saying, but what you bring to the table. And this, in my personal experiences, I've never like heard it asked in my presence. And like I said, I don't like the saying bring to the table, so I don't ask the question. But in my lifetime, I maybe asked it a couple of times, but I realize most women, in my experience, don't know how to answer it. And their answers, and it's not a right or wrong answer. It's like when you ask the question, the answer isn't an answer. You know, it's like it's a politician's answer. It may sound good, or it's some slick shit, or I am the table and all this shit, but at the end of the day, it doesn't answer a realistic question. You know, what you bring to the table. It can't tell you. So this, like I said, this is my experience. Everybody think like when you put up stuff like this, content like this, they think it's shot at women, or it's just taking jabs at women. It's this is from a male's perspective. Um, I talk to single males, men that's available and on the market, and this the feedback I get. This is what's out there. Um, these are women scorned. Nobody's completely healed, men included. I know I'm not completely healed, and it's hard to work when both people aren't completely healed. So unless you're gonna work on it together, and I haven't come across any situations where, hey, let's go get a neutral party and put our issues out there and see if we get some answers. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. For me, it's not about saving feelings. It's about getting answers on how to resolve a situation. How can we coexist if, excuse me, whatever the problem is causing us not to be able to coexist? Hey, let's figure this out. What's the answer? We can't figure it out between the two of us. We got to get somebody else involved. Otherwise, it's a stalemate. How can we fix it? You know, can't fix the car with no mechanic. Somebody gotta have some type of knowledge. So that would it be. You know, I was just thinking the other day, and this is wild. And it's kind of crazy to like when I think about it, I'm like, damn, tell people this shit, but I haven't flown since the pandemic started. So that was 2020, I believe. I want to say 2020. I think I'm right. It's not 2021. I want to say it was 2020. It was 2020 when they locked the borders. I look at my passport and see the stamp, but they were about to lock the borders to Jamaica where nobody could come in or come out travel wise, civilian wise, commercially. So I was like, I think I know it was 3 days. So I remember my flight back to the United States. Well, our flight back to the United States was, I believe, because my birthday was the 4th. So the flight back, I believe, was the 7th because we stayed that whole entire week. So the flight back was March 7th. Got back and like watching TV and, getting settled back in. They closed the borders on March 10th. So on March 10th, they was talking about no flights in or out of Jamaica. And I don't know what was happening as far as with the United States at that time, but I just noticed that part. And I was like, the woman that I was with out there, I was like, damn, I'm like, we could have got stuck out there. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, where we was, like, it's all a resort. I mean, resort, back to work, regular life. It's not that bad. Hey, we funnel up the money, whatever the extra days or whatever time it is, and figure it out. But it was kind of ill though. Like, I think that was probably my second or third time out of the country. So it was like, damn, to almost get caught out here, like get stuck out here, like, it'd be wild. And it'd be all about politics. That's why another reason I'd be like kind of leery to fly is like something go down, some country get mad at us and you happen to be in their country, like who knows, might not go in your favor. You might not be able to get back home when you was expecting to be back home, so
I think so. It looked like him. Plus Detective Rollins. Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah, when I finish, I'm gonna post this though, but I could use like a editor. I need an editor, like cut stuff up, struggles. I be having the struggles, me being from a different era. Should we had the Polaroids, and then the instant joints came out. You take the picture, and then you gotta shake it dry. Now you download, and it's crazy. Like, then I was looking at something popped up on my feed, and like stuff that's just regular, like growing up. And these eras later, and they tell the story about it, and it's like, they used to really pay per minute to use a cell phone. I'm like, yeah, but when he said it, I was like, I had to think about it, like it was just something we did. So as times change and other things, ways of doing things come about, like you kind of forget about how we used to do things. And it's cool when you hear people bringing it up. Like, I always bring up this story of like me and my homeboy was talking, and he was talking about how his son, and we was talking about a beeper, and his son was like, "What's a beeper?" It was like we looked at each other and we started laughing like it's crazy. But I like when you see those reactions and you show the kids stuff, and it's new to them. It's cool. It's cool though. It's cool. And I've been thinking about like possessions that I've acquired over the years and stuff that I hung on to, and always think like as the kids see them, my kids, they see them and, you know, be like, oh, y'all used to have this, or y'all used to do things like this. And like some of these things are still valid. Like it's new ways to do stuff, but you know, it's still a regular pencil sharpener by hand and stuff like that. You know, I remember I went into this office the other day. This woman, oh, matter of fact, was at a hotel down in Ocean City. So the clerk that checked you in, so I think check-in was like 1 o'clock, I think it was. No, it was 3. It was 3. Check-in was 3 o'clock. I got there like 2:30. So I'm like, yeah, I know check-in is 3 o'clock. Where's the bathroom at? So she's like, she told me where the bathroom at. And she's like, yeah, when you come down, she was like, I'm gonna check you in. So she wound up checking me in right there. So she checked me in, you know, you sign for all the paperwork and all that stuff. Take your credit card for any incidentals or whatever case to be. And then when they have the holidays, like it's Memorial Day weekend and stuff like that, they always do the resort fee. They charge you a little resort fee. I'm like, okay. And you know what's funny about it is because like I stay at these spots on the off season. So when they charge the resort fee, it's like, where's the resort fee every other time of the year? It's not the resort fee, but it's Memorial Day weekend. So hey, it's 23.83 for the resort fee. I'm like, okay, I got you. So yo, it's always the excuse for them to run your card again. They'll give you a reason. Yo, we gotta run your card again. I remember as another spot checking in, and it was like, oh, it's not going through. I was like, oh, run it again. Oh, do you have another card? I said, nope, this is the only card. Like, like when you pre-plan for stuff, like you know which cards are for what. So like this card, I knew what was on it. This is the lowest card. So it was adamant that I'm using this card in case a hotel, in case some shady shit go on. You don't want them to be able to charge 10 racks on your card. So usually, and that's a little bit of advice too, I tell people this: when you go somewhere to check in at a resort, hotel, or whatever the case may be, or you doing little small charges, like you charging like what's the McDonald's or something like that. Anything that's small and you may not trust it, like use your lowest card. So to lower the card, like if it's a card with say $1,000 limit, $2,000 limit, if they try to run it up, they ain't gonna be able to run it up. It's going to max out, you know. So that's like for the least amount of damage, you just use the lowest card. That's always been my thing. So now, if you're going to purchase something and you know you want to make a big purchase or whatever the case may be, then you take your biggest card with the least interest, the lowest interest rate on it. So big purchases, the biggest card, biggest balance, lowest interest rate though. That card. And then you pay that shit off as fast as you can. When you make these big purchases, you should already have a set amount aside. Like you buying something that's like, just throw a number out there. Let's say 5 racks. You're paying $5,000 for something. So it was always my thing. This is my little personal rule is at least have half. So anytime I'm going to get something but like before credit, you just had to save until you got to as much as you wanted to get whatever you had to get. And then that was it. We talking like younger years in the hood, no line of credit, nothing like that. You just had to save. And then when you got it, you went and paid for it. I know some people used to do layaway. I ain't never did layaway though, but I ain't saying anything wrong with it, but I've never done layaway. You just had to save. Then when you got to your how much it was, then you went and bought it. So now with the credit and so forth, you get a little mature, you get a little lower interest rate. They give you a little higher dollar of credit range now. So people think, oh, I got 10,000 line of credit. I'm gonna spend the whole 10,000. Like somebody see something, oh, Something costs 10,000. I'm gonna put the whole car on the credit card. Nah, at least five. At least five. So if it's 10, it's at least five. If it's five, at least 2,500. 2,500, and then have a plan afterwards. That'd be the main thing. If once you start, you drop whatever you putting down on it. You don't want that to just sit on that credit card and just keep getting interest. So your plan should be like, I used to like numbers is me. Everything with numbers, like say my check used to be like $745 a week. I'm talking this is like my early 20s, teens or whatever. But not to say it's a bad thing, but anyway, $745 a week or whatever the case may be. Every week I'll take the $45 and put it on the card. 45, take the 45, take the 45, take the 45. And then before you know it, the card get paid off faster, because usually with the credit card it's a monthly, and then if it's a fee, like say it's $1,000, that fee might be like $20. So you're doing $45 a week. That's $180 in a month. So when that bill comes, instead of a little $20, you give them $180 already. And then the faster you paying it off as it's going down, when the monthly cycle flip for the billing, you're gonna get the lower rate because you're paying it down before they bill you. So just like this used to be my word to go by, is like, if I got it, I'm gonna pay it. So like if it's something you to walk down the street and paid cash for, and you use your card, you can jump right on your phone right there. You charge a sandwich, it was $10, or a pizza and a soda, or your lunch or whatever, you $10. Jump right on there and pay that real quick. If you don't want to walk around with cash, you got to act like it's cash. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna just leave it on there. Now you pile it on top of everything else, and all this stuff is getting interest every month, and the bill just get higher and higher and higher. Feel like you're not even putting a dent in it. Like, I don't wait till the credit card company text me and say, oh, or message me and say, oh, your bill's about to be due. I don't wait till that come. I just, every week, I see how much I got in. I pay my bills down, and then even if the credit card due or not, I see whichever one is high. Okay, I got an extra, say 200. Put the most on this one because it's the highest one. The lower ones, you could just put the minimum or whatever the case may be, but you're doing it weekly. They billing you monthly, but you're doing it weekly. So only time you do the minimum is if you're doing it weekly. If you're doing it monthly, you post at least double the minimum. They say the minimum due is $80. Give them 160, 150, something like that, So, damn, how we got into finances and all that stuff. That's crazy, but I still want to get some property though. But a lot comes with that: taxes, maintenance, yada yada yada. So much to do, so little time. You age out of stuff before you know it. You think you're gonna be able to do this, be able to do that. Not forever. So some of this stuff you gotta jump on it now. But success could come at any age. Keep doing whatever you're doing, whatever you believe in, something that your heart is into, that can bring you some sort of income, monetary value, and just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Eventually somebody gonna see what you're doing. If you're really good at what you're doing and you're sincere in what you're doing, somebody gonna see what you're doing. Put yourself out there, advertise to every and anybody. Don't limit yourself. Some of the people you think might not be interested, you'd be surprised. They might be interested in whatever you're doing. I've been on the phone with customer service and talking about something completely different. Hey, oh yeah, by the way, I do such and such and such, and a name get passed to another name, and before you know it, who knows? It haven't been that big one yet, but you help people out, people help you out. You come into their town or you're in their vicinity, or you're in a position where they can help you, people will help you because you're out there networking, establishing yourself. What you offer, what you bring to the table as the business of you as a person. And I think in a relationship you should look at it the same way. You should look at it the exact same way as far as um it's a business, but this one is just with emotions involved. You trying to build a business with somebody that you love and you care about. So y'all both want to be knowledgeable of what type of business structure y'all want to put together so that things run smoothly. You got to be the right person. A lot of things got to be right. But just because some things aren't wrong, don't give up on them. You know, all the right things. Like I said, you got to find answers for the wrong things so that y'all can get past them, figure out what'll make you a better business as far as a relationship, as far as a business owner. Um, Even if you're at your job where you work every day, that's your business. So you should be the best at your business. When you're the best at your business, other people notice you and other people become interested in you. Like people in my industry, they know I've been around for years. They hear my name and they know I've been around for years. And when it's an industry, whatever industry it is, if you're around for years, you can't escape and have longevity. You'd have been exposed by now. Somebody tells somebody, oh, how's such and such? Let's just throw a name out there. How's Gary? Oh, nah, don't deal with him. He don't be showing up on time. He take a lot of days off. Yo, people be talking like how women chat and they talk about like women stuff, like guys as far as business, like they do the exact same thing. Like they'll be like, yo, this guy came in the interview, such and such. Oh, he from Harlem. His name is such and such. Like they'll just throw it out there because it's just something to talk about. And if you know the person, then they want some type of feedback on them. Oh, he from such and such. You ever heard of him? And blah, 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 this and that. A lot of times we're like, especially when I first came into my industry, when people used to ask me that, it was like, I'm like, who? They'd be like, I'm gonna just throw a name out. They'd be like Paul Smith or whatever. I'd be like, first off, it'd be a crazy random name. It'd be something that Tom Williams or John Mitchell, or it'd be a super simple name. And they'd be like, do you know this person? And then the next thing in the back of my mind be like, just like from hanging in the streets and whatnot. I'm like, half these dudes, you don't know their real name. Nigga, that's T Black and that's Fella Fell and that's G1. Like, and the ill shit we used to always say is craziness. Is messed up that you have to say it, but the only time you usually found out people's real name is if it was at the funeral or if they was in the hospital and you wanted to go visit a person. You find out their real names so that you could go visit them. But majority of the time growing up, man, it was Pookie, Ray Ray, Black Tom, White Tom. Word, it was crazy. So damn, it's a late game tonight. Dodgers fan, I'm LA all day. That's never going to change. My only New York team is the Giants. But you can surf around my channel. I still got good content up there. I got stuff you could check out, stuff to entertain you, make you laugh, make you smile. Some things that'll make you cry and get you frustrated, may get you angry, but it'll give you a better perspective on life and like what's going on. And the thing I think people fail to realize is like we should all realize that we all have similar issues. We have similar problems, similar stuff that we all going through. So if it's as a collective, if we all spoke about it and addressed it and people that get through it said, well, this is what I did. This is how I got through this. This is how I got past it. It's about sharing the information. You can share the information and pass it down so that these people don't make the same mistakes that you might have made to get where you're at. So, and it'd be the smallest thing, like, I mean, directions. telling somebody how to get somewhere, telling somebody to, excuse me, this is something major minor. And it's like my mom, God rest her soul, and her friend group, and she used to put me in in the conversations, not far as literally, but she would include me and let me know what's going on. But like they used to let each other know, like when stuff that they shopped for grocery wise was on sale, they let them know. They'd be like, yo, um um salmon is on sale this week. Like it's usually at the time, I know it's crazy now, it's like $15 a pound. At the time, it'd be like $9.99 a pound. It'd be like $6.99 on sale or $5.99. They'd be like, oh, all this week. Oh, which supermarket be? Pioneer, Associate, Key Food, and it was a Bravo and Bravo. It usually be between those four. They used to have the circulars coming out or whatever. So whoever gets the circular first, they usually was to pick up the phone and call. It's like they want to be the first one to drop it, just like it's Shams or something. But I guess this was the internet before the internet, because that's how people used to do stuff. You wanted to be the first person with the gossip to let people know what was going on. Oh, they giving out free sneakers and such and such. Yo, she used to be crazy. I know all my people's like that's tapped in right now. I get a chance to see this. Think about like when we was on Lenox Avenue and people used to come up. Oh yeah, you know Magic Johnson over there. He just opened the coffee place down the block, and dudes a takeoff or whatever the case may be. Like that's how everything was. Rather now, like due to drop their location, be yo Casanat on 34th Street. Motherfuckers be on their phone. You see, start getting off the train or reroute themselves going different directions, and it's not really communicated verbally, but everybody see it because everybody on their device and they know what's going on. Yo, it's just ill, but it's the same thing, but it's just evolved. So it's the same thing, just more advanced than it was back when, back when. It's crazy just to think about it. But a lot of stuff you think about and it'd be like, it came a long way. Like I even like think about stuff as a kid. Like I won't go into exact detail, but like stuff going on in the world, and it's like, yo, how we gonna get past this? And then like, not to say things just went away, but as a kid, because that's what I'm talking about. Like I was a kid, it just felt like things just went away because you hear adults talking about it. So it was an issue, then you don't hear nothing about it, but then it was a new issue pop up, so you hear something else going on. So it's like, what's going on with the world? But it was different hearing it from your household perspective, and then whoever else, your homies or your friends, they from different neighborhoods and so forth, they hearing it from their family's perspective. So that's why I was always like in school, they was like, you don't talk about religion in school, because I think they felt like with kids gathering and getting different information from different households, I guess the most conflicting thing would be religion. So you don't want to have kids having discussions at that young age over religions and their beliefs at home in school. So that's why they made it, oh, that's not a topic. And then it was always said, I don't even know if this like publicly said, but it was always known. And this is from back when I first started working, it was always known that at work, you don't talk about religion and politics. Those are two things you don't talk about. And I remember I was working at this place, and this is a prime example, and this shit is crazy. I was working this spot in Yonkers, and I think this might have been, I can't remember who was running or what was going on, but it was something that was a heated issue, and somebody just happened to bring it up in the office. It happened to be about politics. So it just kept going back and forth. And I'm just sitting, I'm doing what I'm doing, but my ears always open, so I'm always listening to what's going on around me. So I'm hearing what's going on around me, and I'm thinking to myself, like, is somebody going to say something about this shit, man? And then I remember at some point the owner came out. So the owner came out, and he was like, for lack of a better term, he's always like the sneaky type. So he wouldn't just walk in and like expose himself. So he'd walk in and slow walk in as he hears the conversation. So he's getting wind of what they're talking about. He's like, hey, guys, no politics in here, please, no politics. So, and it's ill. Like other places that I've been after that, other companies and organizations, like they don't have a person like that. And it's because of the evolution and how things are now. Like there's no person that's going to come out and say amongst the employees, be like, hey, we can't have this conversation, because they thinking about how it's going to be taken, who they're going to offend, and if it's any way they could get in trouble for not letting them speak freely about this topic. And rather than, with most companies, this is most companies, rather than investigate it and go through all that, just like, let's just write this in. And I remember when this is funny because when this first happened, they didn't even have a employee handbook. So it's crazy. Like as I'm at companies and I'm there long enough where I see the evolution. I've never been at a company for like less than a year. So every company I'm seeing the evolution. So I remember they didn't even have a handbook. So the year they got a handbook, they tried to get people to sign the back of the handbook. So I was like, yeah, all right, I got you. I said, it was like, oh, you can sign it and give it to us now. I said, nah, let me take it home and look it over and read it. I knew I wasn't never going to sign it, so I didn't sign it. But anyway, like in the handbook, the only thing that I looked for in that handbook was that religion thing. And I started flipping through, and it was like they had it in there. Like no discussions about religion and politics. And I didn't know you could actually write that into a employee handbook, but it's a private owned company, so I would assume so. But at some point, I'm gonna look it up and see if that's legally valid. If you could legally do that, and I would think so. I would think, hey, whatever you got going on at your home or whatever, don't bring that to work. And now it's like home is at work with people with social media. Like people be on social media all day, so you see people, like, it's crazy. You see people on social media and they be live streaming, whatever the case may be, and they be literally at work. So they supposed to be working, but they live streaming. And some people now, like, they're becoming more aware. So like they'll block people's phone numbers out, or they'll mute the phone, or whatever the case may be. But like you see sometimes it be people, they'll be moving their phone around and whatnot. And as they moving their phone around, like they putting you get flashes of documents and all that type of stuff. And they be putting that's my bottom line. They be putting people's personal security at risk, and they don't be mindful of it. And the only thing, well, one of the main things that pop in my head is be like, yo, it's good employees out here that'll do a good job, that really need this job, and you bullshitting. Like, get that up. Let somebody else get that. That's going to do the job the right way and not have all that extra with them. I work with people, they complain about showing up on time. Well, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I'm like, that don't fly. When has that fly? When has that flown? That has never flown. It wasn't my fault. This broke down. This happened. Man, you was supposed to be early rather than be late. If you know it take you 15 minutes to get to work, you should leave a half hour ahead. You supposed to be there. It take you 15 minutes. You supposed to be there at 8. You should be leaving 7:30. In case anything happened. You don't know what could happen. But you got to plan ahead, be proactive rather than be reactive, Person running a company, they got a business to run. You got a job to do. They don't care about none of that. You can't be here when we need you here. We gonna get somebody else here. They gonna sit in your seat at your desk. So don't bring your personal stuff here. When you leave, you shouldn't need a box. I'm stomping up the stairs. When you leave, you didn't catch that. If you didn't catch it, I'm gonna say it again. When you leave, you shouldn't need a box. You shouldn't need a box. I couldn't put it any simpler. When you leave, you shouldn't need a box. You should be able to pick your bag up, your jacket. It's nice working with y'all. On to the next level. On to the next level. I don't think I ever said this before, but I'm going to tell you something that an employer said to me, and I want to know if y'all take it the way that I take it. And I'm going to tell you how I took it first. I took this was one of the most hurtful things a person could say to you. I think in my life, it was one of the most hurtful. And anybody know me is like, my skin is pretty tough, but it's one of the most hurtful things that an employer has ever said to me in my life. Now I'm gonna tell you what the employer said. This is what my employer said to me. My employer said to me, Dave, we love you, man. You're gonna be here forever. We want you to retire from here. We love you. You're gonna be here forever. Do you think that I should have took it that way? Now let me tell you my perspective. I'm gonna throw my perspective on top of it. When I came into the company that I'm speaking of, I started dealing with them or whatever. First having negotiation talks, yada yada yada. They knew I'm a broker, so I have my own company, and this has been since 2019 now. So 7-year anniversary coming up next year. So they knew that I have my own business. And they knew that my main reason, and this was one of my things, was transparency. My main reasons coming in was me believing in their company and their views and vision of what they wanted and what they wanted to do. I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. And I was all on board. So, with him saying that and me knowing how business went, focus changed, views changed, trajectory changed, everything that was spoken during and pre-negotiations was no longer valid. And when he said that, then I felt like he was writing an imaginary check. That's what it felt like. Because I don't know if this is the wrong view or if this is the wrong perspective, but this is the way I see things. Unless I'm a partner, not an employee, a partner, how can I acquire the life I dream of that you have working for you? That be my perspective. How can I acquire that? Always being not negatively said, but beneath you. I will never be in a position to earn what you earn and be able to live like you live. If that's how I choose to live or how I want to live, that's my vision, my goal. Some people like your vision and goals are the people that are put in front of you. It's a little broader now with social media, but it's always been like the people, oh, he's driving this. Well, I want to get one of those one day. Or you go to somebody's house, you're like, yo, this is a beautiful house. I'd love a house just like this. You need a visual goal. So once you get that visual goal, you'll work towards it. Excuse me. Now it may not be exactly like this person's whatever. You're not gonna buy the exact same whatever that this person got, but you put your ideas with their ideas, you put your spin on it, and you make it match your personality. So, but back to like I said with business, like a job is, and this is purely my perspective. A job is an insurance marker. A job is usually a field that you've mastered, and you're at the point, if you've been working for quite a while, people know what you're good at. So when you become available, or even if it's a broader industry, your resume speaks for itself. So I mean, I don't know. It feels like the thinking is becoming obsolete of getting a job. It just feel obsolete. Like, and it's crazy. And this be my perspective on a daily basis, like in my commute and during my travels during the course of the day, like going in and out of the office or making my runs back and forth. And you see people all moving at different pace and different rates. You know, some people seem to be moving slower. And from my perspective, a person moving slower, like they got more time to spare. You know what I'm saying? You moving fast, you got to be here at this time. You got to be to work at 8. You got to leave for lunch at 12:30. You got to be back at 1:30. You leave at 5, then you got to go get the kids, and like it's nonstop. You constant moving every hour of the day, every minute. You know where you need to be at what time. If not, something going to fall off alignment. Something ain't going to get done. Then ain't going to get cooked. You forgot to pick something up. You forgot to put that in your plans. Like, it's so much going on that you move at a certain speed and you move at a certain pace. But when it's like a person that a better situation, you can tell how they move. They're a little more, a little more worry free. A bit of comfort. And like I said, the pace is slower. They move at a slower pace. They move slower than the average person that's hustling and bustling and trying to keep their head above water, you know. All these sayings we grew up with, keep your head above water. I don't even want to be in the water if I'm not bathing. If I ain't bathing, swimming, or some water sport, I don't even want to be in the water. I want to be above the water. Ain't that the promised land? You want to be above the water, right? I don't know. Just like even with this, let's discuss it. I mean, big aspirations, grinded out for 6 months to a year. Other people included, trying to get people to come on, sit down, talk, let's discuss it, and People give verbal commitments. Yeah, I'll do it, and it don't happen. But I don't. It's not like it's no malice or hard feelings. I understand everybody's life is life, and I understand that. I have no issue with that. Um, but I just put it back on myself because I feel like whatever I'm doing, especially on this type of platform, as far as with content or whatever, um, my creativity should be what brings people, keeps people, retains people, and then anything else should just be the cherry on top. That's just the additional. That's what I think it should be. I think that would be the smartest structure. And not to say I'm just the greatest human being in the world or nothing like that, but with me, it's always been like a networking. Like with older generation, it was always like you bring people in based on what they bring in. So let's go back to that bring to the table. You bring people in based on what they bring to the table. So like y'all putting a house together, and this is like other countries do this. Like it's just like here we have this issue, but and some people here do it here, but it'd be different nationalities or whatever. We know who struggles, who don't. When I say this, you know who I'm talking about. We're gonna leave it there, but it's like you building a house. You know, this person's a plumber, this person's a mason, this person does landscaping, this person's a roofer, this person's an electrician. You know, and now you put all your talents together and you build this house. But everybody looks at it the majority look at it as, I hate saying everybody because you say everybody, they'll bite your head off. The majority looks at it as how much you want to make off this first house. And that be the deal breaker. That be the deal breaker. How much we gonna make off this first house? And I always tell people, and it be me speaking my mind. I don't know if it's foolproof, if it works, because it's never come to fruition. But I always tell the people around me is like, keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. And something negative that you're doing, now negative far as there's no growth in it. Like say you clubbing every week. If you know you could cut that in half or whatever the case may be, you know how much you spend on clubbing. I spend $200 a week. Cut it in half is $100. You got another $5,200 in resources a year. So what can we invest that into? But I don't know. I think people think it's not all about monetary. It's like it's other stuff you could bring to the table. But I feel like each person contributing into a collective can make something big come of it. And it takes time. People want instant oatmeal. Shit don't happen like that. Like you look at these companies now, these huge companies that's $1 billion conglomerates. Some of them got 40, 50 plus years in now. Some triple digits, you know. Some of the old companies, some companies are rebranding. The way the logo used to look back then don't look now. They keep changing the logo. You're like, oh, what's this? You're like, oh, this is the same grits we've been getting, you know. But it's rebranding, you know, and it's a collective. So it's a group of people that's figuring out this should change. We should do this, and times are changing. This, and that. But it's like it's a group of people involved with a common goal. It's a lot of people either be be intentionally or be it just due to circumstances, a lot of people with a lot of knowledge is flying solo, just trying to do it on their own. Everybody just trying to figure it out on their own. I want to come up on my own. And I hope, and I hear from a lot of people, and I hear perspectives. Don't be the person that you just want to come up so you can look down on other people. See, look, I did it. Nah, it's not about that. It's about bringing people along with you. I'm not saying you owe anybody anything, but I know it's people out there you love and care about. Just like the people that you love and care about, they have people that they love and care about. And as people continue to pass things forward within our community, that's when the growth comes in. But like I said, it's still the popular mentality is, like, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm shit on niggas. I'm shit on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Got to get away from that. I'm about to cut it short, but I'm gonna touch on this real quick. And this goes far as my views with politics. People that know me, I don't really talk about politics. I don't get involved in politics. I keep my ears open to try to be aware of what's going on, but I don't vote. I've never voted. My pops never voted. I have other family members that vote, but him and my pop's deceased. He never voted. I've never voted. And every time I think about it and give a serious consideration to voting, I see how things play out after a race, a presidential race, and a candidate wins. And I see how whoever wins is treated like the ops by the other party. And I always say to myself, like, if they always the ops, and always looking from this perspective, it's no offense to nobody, what you doing, how you live your life, whatever the case may be, but I always refer to it in this perspective. The Democrats and Republicans, how they red and blue, it's the Bloods and the Crips, and it literally, like, the Bloods and Crips kind of cleaned it up to an extent, if not more so than we ever expected. But like, excuse me, with politics, it still feel the same. Democrat win, the Republicans is bash, bash, bash. Vice versa, bash, bash, bash. So every election, it feels like 4 years is lost because both sides never say, okay, this is our candidate. This is who won. This is who our president is. So we're going to all get on board. The shit that we disagree with, we're going to say something about it. But the stuff that we agree with, we're going to support because this is our president, regardless of who it is. But it seems like every 4 years when it flipped, it's a setback because the other side is unhappy, so they'll never get on board. And when the next term is coming up, everybody's campaign from the opposite camp is, yeah, we're going to clean up the mess. We're not going to be as bad as this person, and we just going to magnify all the flaws to make me look better. So just so I could win, it's not, I'm doing this because I want to make us a better country, because if that's the case, while this person was in office, you should have been sitting down with them and having a conversation too. So people always, oh, our ancestors, we fought for this to vote, and this is all my perspective. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Y'all can feel how y'all feel about it. But you're talking about how our ancestors, we fought to vote, and a lot of stuff that our ancestors fought for isn't it, just for a lack of being able to say it a better way, isn't as pure as what it was when they were fighting for it. You ever fought for a girl, like not physically fought for a girl, but like, yeah, you put your best in, you made her wear you, and you around, or whatever the case may be, and then y'all finally vibe and y'all click and you start talking, you be like, damn, she a demon. But from afar, you was like, yeah, she might be it. But once you got to know him, it's like, nah. But still, with as far as with the politics, back to the politics, like I said, every 4 years, it just feels like when it flipped back, we didn't get nowhere because it's a bashing on each other. And I've never seen it where a party won and the other party says, this is our president. I've heard him say it. Oh, this is our president. This is who won. We're behind him 100%, blah, 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 this is and that. It's right for the cameras and stuff like that. But you never seen both parties get together and collaborate and say, even though, excuse me, the president-elect is from this party, we still going to put in 100% like our guy won. You're not cheering for the other guy. So when he win, you don't want to support his movement and what he's doing. But look who loses in all this. Us, the people. We don't get what we want. The bills we want passed. The rights we have, we don't get them. Because the Democrats are at the Republicans, and the Republicans are at the Democrats. Then we got the in-betweeners too, but nobody talks about them because they're not the majority, they're the minority. So everybody says, well, they can't change anything. So whatever they believe in, let them keep doing whatever they're doing. We ain't worried about them. The independents and all, we ain't worried about all that. But it's the Bloods versus the Crips. The Democrats versus the Republicans. If you just tuned in, I've been smoking, so excuse me if I flip the colors. If I said it inverted, you know which way it's supposed to go. You know who's red, you know who's blue. So, but yeah, I don't see us getting past that. And it feels like now we're becoming further away from it. We were closer. I won't say close. We were closer at one point, but it just feels like if the gap was 3 feet, pause, it's 5 feet. But at one point we had it like down to like 2 feet. And here we are again. So I don't have all the answers. I may not have most of the answers, but I'm going to talk about it. Let's discuss it. And I like to hear feedback and see what people think. What you think the answer is to whatever's going on. And talk about it. Talk it out. When different sides have conversations, you might be able to come to a resolution. So, hey. But we'll see what happens. Let me sign off, though. Say it again. Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you're around people that love you, care about you, appreciate you. It ain't always about the giving and gifts and so forth, but the presence, people doing stuff around you that you like, and just making a good Father's Day weekend for you overall. So all the fathers out there, respect to y'all. Peace and blessings, everybody. Y'all stay safe and try and treat each other different. Try to treat each other decent. We got to share this earth together. Let me finish this clip. Get ready for this nightlife. Enjoy. Take care. Love y'all.